first topic we're going to get into. This is a story that I did on the show the other day. I didn't do it, actually heard about it through Baker Machado. If you guys are familiar with Baker, you know that he is our Cheddar correspondent. Cheddar is this umbrella, it's a segment we do. It's business headlines out of New York City, and Cheddar is the name of this company. So he's the correspondent, and he did a story about how I can't even repeat it. Do you have this one? Yeah, because.
Okay, so we've all grown up understanding that marrying your cousin is probably not something that you should do. And historically, it's because of what was happening in royal families, inbreeding, hemophilia, lots of this. Well, Baker came to us and told us that marrying your cousin, maybe it's not such a bad idea after all.
As long as it's not done generation after generation after generation. If it's like once in a while within your family lineage, it's not as bad as we have always made it to be. Maybe it's more of just a stigma that someone once put on it, and it's like, you can't. But a long time ago, they used to, marry within, have babies within to keep the bloodline alive.
Correct.
So everyone had different reactions to this.
We have a lot of ews happening right now.
Because the
But we do
headline,
have one, I love my cousin, Kathleen Hernandez. I love my cousin, but not like that.
Not like that.
Kathleen. But if you did,
and if you
you
knew
could
that,
marry him.
and if you knew that the percentage of issues with carrying a child, if that was very low or maybe lower than we have ever expected, would you consider it? Because I guess some were saying like, well, what's bad? It's a person to a person. If you really like that person, whether they're related to or not, and it has nothing to do, and you knew that your child would come out fine, but the chance of them coming out fine was much lower.
Part.
Then what's the big deal?
Recessive genes is the problem. It's when you
Is that what's gross about it though to you, or is it the fact that it's family?
It's marrying my brother.
Yeah,
That's
the
how I
family
get
thing is
from
more
it.
of an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, brother, one thing, maybe a cousin.
No, because I
I
love
just
my
can't
cousin
do
like
it.
a brother.
We grew up as one family unit. Actually, there are just a lot of women. So it wouldn't work out for me.
So I saw this yesterday. I think the key is, look at what the title is. Marrying cousin, not so bad.
Not so bad.
Right. They say that the odds are somewhere between 4 to 7% that you're going to run into an issue directly related to, like you mentioned, recessive genes or what have you. So, overall, when you think about it, it's going to be terrible. If you actually look at the numbers, percentage-wise, 47% is technically not so bad.
Right.
But let's be honest. Culturally,
It's weird.
yeah, exactly.
To some,
and
to most.
Exactly. And let's just say,
I don't want to speak for everyone.
that that's the scenario that somebody's in, that they love, they fell in love with their cousin, they want to get married. The pressure from society, from your family, and on and on and on and on and on, and the 47% chance, 4 to 7%, not 47, 4 to 7% chance you're going to run into complications, because that is probably it's just too much to bear, because for the rest of your marriage, and then if you have kids, you're bringing that stigma, that pressure onto them as well. And again, you should always do whatever you want to do, as long as it's legal, right? But this is probably just too much of a barrier for anybody in a mainstream way to ever really happen.
How about if it's cousin by marriage?
Oh, when I was younger. This is true. Don't judge me. It was my step cousin. We were like step cousin. We're no longer. He's still single, and he is totally fabulous. Oh, you would love him. But as a kid, I was in love with him. I was too scared to talk to him, but he was my step cousin. We weren't related.
You're not related by blood, but the idea that you were
I would never
in
date
the
him.
family,
No.
did you feel like you could never even talk about that?
Gosh, no. I mean, no. I would say, oh, he's cute, but I would never be like, I'm gonna hook up with that guy.
Yeah.
No. So is that bad on me? I mean, as a kid,
especially as a kid,
Not
you
blood
don't know.
related.
You don't understand that, but if it's like families, like to a lot in the Latino community, right? Like everyone is family, so even if you're not related.
I'm like, I have at least 7 cousins that aren't my real cousins,
for sure.
but they're my cousins.
But they're your cousins, so are they off limits?
Most definitely off limits. Again, mostly women.
Okay. How do you guys feel about this? Because
they feel some
I'm from
strong
Southern
ways.
California. You're from the East Coast. You know, every part of the country is a bit different.
Rosalinda, cousins are like extended brothers and sisters. They feel like us, so no way. Paula says no cousins. Somebody thinks this is fake news, but I swear this is real news. Baker Machado had on a woman who, just to reference back to Rob's comments, who said when you marry your cousin, there's a 4 to 7% chance of something negative happening to your child. If you're just marrying somebody in real life, just a normal person, it's 3 to 5% chance.
Right.
So it's a slight increase in the chance that something bad will happen.
And they say if you practice this in one generation, then that next generation does it, then that next. That is when the percentage increases. But if it's once every now and then, it's not as bad as we've thought about it.
And here's the, you do have to research this stuff. You can't just assume all the time.
Yeah,
so
it's just
somebody
gonna go.
and I think that's one of the great things about this is that whatever people think is the reality, you have to test that. You have to put it through a scientific process. You actually have to run the numbers and figure out if what you think really is what it is. Because every once in a while you learn, okay, it is what we think in a way, but it's not really what we think. In other words, it's not as if two cousins get together, then instantaneously their kids are going to have major health issues or what have you.
Right.
It is exactly what the title says.
Are you seeing the comments?
Do you
Which
see
one,
what
Carrie?
Rex said?
Carrie Baxter says, I mean, it was standard practice with royalty. We are pretty much all descendants of such practices.
I think it depends on what nationality you are and if you are truly a descendant from a royal family. But she brought that up, the person who spoke to Baker Machado, that at one point we were all like 70 or 47% related to each other, and now that number has slowly dwindled away, and that is because people don't marry their cousins anymore.
Rex shook. Most
Yeah.
of my family are incest. I personally would not marry my cousin Randy, but he not even a third or fourth cousin. But in my family, that's such a big thing. They marry their first, second, and third cousins. My father married his third cousin, and my grandfather married his stepsister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
one thing
rundown.
that helps.
It's just, we asked for
Yeah.
their stories, right?
So this is a weird tangent, but I promise it's not.
Great.
So cheetahs in
Cheetah
Africa,
pets?
cheetahs.
Oh, sorry.
They are highly
She said
endangered.
cheetah pets.
They are highly endangered, and they're trying to preserve the species, right?
Okay.
And so they are finding that the ones that are in captivity many of them are very closely related because there's just not that many of them. So that's one of the struggles that they try and do is they wish that they could bring in some from the wild to totally add a lot of diversity to the gene pool, but that's a
Right.
very difficult and some would say unethical thing to do. So they're trying to find. Many of them are related in a way. They're trying to find the ones that are the most distant related, the widest spread of genes. So there is some intentional inbreeding that's happening with cheetahs, for example, that they're finding that there's not really that many problems. They're successfully able to breed these
Able to
cheetahs,
do this.
even though many of them are related or have distant, 2-3
Right.
generations down the road. I
Right.
know that's a total tangent. Maybe it wasn't interesting, but
was
I thought it was
interesting.
kind of interesting that they're finding that, even just straight up biology,
Right.
that this has been tested in other areas as well.
They do it with dogs too, like purebred sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and, my golden retriever had some health issues because of it, but that does happen with dogs.
Yeah, and
Wild.
wondering if how different it is in the
Right.
animal kingdom than with us as human beings. Not sure. Are you?
So-
are you reading some of
I'm
these comments?
dying on these comments, but I just want to clarify. You guys are funny, but we are not condoning marriage between cousins. All we're doing is reporting a story that came out of Cheddar TV in New York that we found wildly intriguing.
Yes.
And we thought maybe you guys would find it
Yeah.
intriguing too, which
Well, Terry
by the
Chavita
comments
says
you have.
that's disgusting. Pat Schneider says wrong. This is
Kimberly
really
Morgan.
a bad idea,
Yeah.
not just in the two cousins are genetically related. What does Kimberly say?
She said, I feel like this is sponsored by Jerry Springer and Maury, the study.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
you.
Oh my, can
Yeah.
we talk